This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a miniature horse stabbed over 40 times in a vicious attack at Waitati has died. It's business as usual at Telford College this week as this year's contingent of students are welcomed to the campus. And Otago University students have been welcomed by the Vice-Chancellor Harlene Hayne to the city. Good evening, I'm Daryl Baser. A miniature horse stabbed over 40 times in a vicious attack at Waitati has died. The owner of Star, a 10-year-old calf-sized horse, says one of the wounds has punctured the horse's bowel and it died overnight. And a warning, this story contains distressing details and images.
The victim of a vicious attack, 10-year-old miniature horse Star, seen yesterday recovering after being stabbed 41 times in his paddock in the small seaside town of Waitati.
Over 40 lacerations over the back and the neck, both sides of the neck, some of them quite deep, 3 or 4 inches.
But he lost his battle overnight after one of the wounds punctured his bowel. Police have launched an investigation and are appealing for information following the attack around midnight on Sunday. The owner's friend was walking a dog near Star's corner paddock when he discovered the bloody trail that led to the horse, who'd been cut loose but was still alive.
And when we saw him at 3 o'clock this morning, he had lost a significant amount of blood and was in a pretty bad way.
Vets initially thought Star had been attacked by a dog, but during the 5 hours they operated on him, it became clear the wounds were too clean and deep and were inflicted with a sharp knife. Gillespie believes at least 2 people may have been involved in the attack, as the horse wouldn't have stood still while being stabbed.
Pretty gut-wrenching. You know, I've been doing this 39 years and this is just the most distressing case I've ever seen of, cruelty to an animal.
Police are asking for anyone with information to come forward. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Police have discovered a body at a rural location north of Dunedin. The discovery was made yesterday and a scene examination and formal identification process is underway. Meanwhile, a residential property in Lock Street, St Clair is currently being examined relating to a missing person reported to police on February the 5th. At this stage, police can't confirm whether the 2 incidents are linked. They're urging anyone who may have seen anything suspicious in the Lock Street area between Monday the 4th and Tuesday the 5th to call police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. It's business as usual at Telford College this week, as this year's contingent of students are welcomed onto the campus. But the welcome has more significance than in previous years, as it almost didn't happen following the Southland Agricultural School being threatened with closure.
Welcome back to Telford. After several weeks of delay, students have been invited to start classes at the Agricultural College near Balclutha. 2 weeks ago it was announced that the Southern Institute of Technology will take over Telford after a month of uncertainty for both staff and students at the facility. SIT Chief Executive Penny Simmons says it's a positive beginning for Telford's academic year.
I think it's really important to celebrate the start of the year. It's been a delayed start and of course there's been a lot of uncertainty for a number of weeks, and so it's really important that we make a big statement to the students that they're really welcome here and we're pleased to be open.
But the delays have caused a drop in the school's roll.
Probably around about the 50 mark. We'd have liked 70 and there were initially 70, but obviously some people with the uncertainty went elsewhere.
New Zealand First MP and former sheep farmer Mark Patterson says Telford should keep on doing what it does best.
We've got a facility here that's been turning out high quality graduates for half a century, so it makes no sense that we're not utilising it to the absolute maximum.
With the recent announcement of a merger for all New Zealand's polytechs and technology institutes, Telford has a 1-year reprieve, and it remains unclear where they'll be next year. Mayor Brian Cadogan says he wants to see how the final deal will shape up.
And let's face it, if we've learnt nothing out of the Lincoln Taratahi debacle, it's that changes have got to be made. There's no way that a beautiful institution like this can go through it again. Or it's been happening right across New Zealand, so there has to be time for change. Obviously the devil will be in the detail. I'm not going to go in there swinging at the moment. I want to see what that detail is, and let's give them a chance to fix something that's obviously broken.
This year's syllabus remains the same as before, with certificates in agriculture and equine, a diploma for rural veterinary technicians, and a Massey diploma in agriculture. In Balclutha, for the South Today.
The Otago University Students Association has announced drug checking is being carried out at the campus as part of orientation. Drug checking allows students to check the substance they intend to take. The OUSA, along with Know Your Stuff NZ and the New Zealand Drug Foundation, say drug checking will be conducted over 4 days. The process involves people providing a small sample of the substance they intend to ingest for testing. The results are given and harm reduction counselling provided. The service is free of charge. Speaking of students, moving to a new city is never easy, but the things that make you nervous about leaving home should also excite you. That's one of the messages given to first-year students at this year's convocation ceremony, where students are welcomed to the city.
Imagine what you could achieve. Imagine what you could achieve.
Imagine what you could achieve. First-year students welcomed to Otago at last night's convocation ceremony by local dignitaries, including Dunedin Mayor Dave Cole.
It's about taking your place in a culturally and socially rich and supportive community with sporting and recreational facilities, galleries, theatres, museums and events that are the envy of much larger cities.
This year's Student Association President James Heath says the next few years can be confidence building.
You're probably all bloody nervous right now. I was, my mates were, though they would never admit it at the time. About 3 years ago, I was sitting somewhere there in the front with one of my best mates to my left, in those little plastic seats.
Vice-Chancellor Professor Harleen Hayne urges students to create great memories and choose their friends wisely.
Over the next few years, I challenge you to choose your friends very carefully. Pick people who will make you a better version of yourself. Friends that you can laugh with, you can cry with, friends that you can trust to have your back and keep you safe. Friends who will accept you just the way you are, but at the same time will challenge you to push yourself to achieve great things.
University lectures aren't set to start until next Monday, but academic departments are open this week to give course advice to students. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, we check in with the Black Caps ahead of their match in Dunedin.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. If you come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. Heavy rain is expected in parts of Otago from this evening. A heavy rain warning is also in place for Westland and Fiordland over the next 24 hours. Met Service meteorologist Mark Bowe says heavy rain is expected around the headwaters of Otago rivers and lakes, where a heavy rain watch is in place. Meanwhile, forecasters hope to have a better understanding today about whether tropical cyclone Oma will crash into New Zealand later this week. Black Caps batsman Ross Taylor returns to the scene of his most devastating one-day innings tomorrow when New Zealand takes on Bangladesh at the University Oval. It was almost a year ago when Taylor produced one of the most remarkable batting feats ever witnessed in the city.
Lucky, hey, nice, I'll sign you first.
A rare chance for young fans to get up close to their cricketing heroes, the Black Caps in Dunedin, for their one and only game in the city this summer. They take on Bangladesh in the third and final game of their current series tomorrow, taking an unassailable 2-0 lead into the match. Batsman Ross Taylor happy with today's final hit out at the University Oval.
More often than not, most of the grounds in New Zealand, how the nets play is quite similar to how the wicket plays, and Dunedin's no different to that. I think there's always just a little bit more grass on the wicket in the nets, and that gives you a little bit of an insight into how it's going to play.
Taylor will be hoping it plays similar to last season, or at least he does. His knock against England just under a year ago is widely regarded as one of the best ever ODI innings by a New Zealander. With the series on the line and chasing over 330, the home side were 2 for 2 when Taylor strode out to the middle. After bringing up his 100, he suffered a nasty quad injury. Running was out of the question, so he was forced to stand and deliver. He ended up not out on 181, steering his team to a stunning series-levelling win.
Have I reflected back on it? Not really, to be fair. But maybe at the end of my career, maybe something that I'll look back on. But definitely, it was definitely definitely was my best knock, I feel, in terms of the context of the match as well.
And while he's hoping for a repeat performance, not everything will be the same this year.
I had Madam Woods the night before, and I think it's close, so lucky I'm not superstitious. I do have dinner before the game.
The match gets underway at 11 tomorrow with a fine day forecast in Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we find out which street in Dunedin's St Clair is due for an upgrade and see who's been gazing at the stars in Staveley.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Need to rent an FPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
Welcome back. A dangerous St Clair intersection is set for a $1.4 million upgrade after 11 crashes in recent years. The Dunedin City Council has finalised plans for a new roundabout and other safety improvements at the intersection of Forbury, Bayview and Allendale roads. The council says the revised plan will see a new peanut-shaped roundabout added to slow traffic and make the area safer. Work is expected to begin in September or October and take up to 6 months to complete. A group of highly respected astronomers have converged on the mid-Canterbury town of Staveley. They're taking part in a series of events which have attracted speakers from around the world. Under the Milky Way tonight. Two of New Zealand's leading lights in the field of astronomy taking part in the recent Stardate Staveley Gathering in Canterbury. Sam Lesky and Haratina Mogasanu say there's an interesting shape at the centre of our galaxy, although there's debate as to what the shape looks like.
Wow, because at the galactic centre there's a patch of the sky. If you're on a very dark night, you'll see the Milky Way stretching out across the sky, and there's a little patch there that looks quite a lot like a kiwi. Yep. And you know the story of it.
Yeah, and we knew about this for a very long time, about this dark patch at the centre of our galaxy, but in Europe we call it the dark horse.
Haratina Mogasanu has travelled the globe looking into the heavens and rates astronomy in New Zealand very highly.
You just have to trust me because I'm from the Northern Hemisphere and here is the best place on Earth. Here is the right way up.
She's based in Europe at times and spent some time in Utah preparing for the possibility of going where no one has gone before.
Yeah, I've been to Utah 3 times to train for Mars missions and contribute to the general knowledge of the world of what would be like to train for Mars. Like, we actually were sent there to make many mistakes as we could, so that people who will really go to Mars won't have to. So we were the guinea pigs, which was very nice because they got us to be part of these amazing programs that are actually really contributing to the science of going to Mars.
At Staveley, the pair gave a presentation about the synergies in space with the 250th anniversary of Captain James Cook's voyage, a connection between astronomy and New Zealand which continues to the present day. In Staveley, the South Today. And now time for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome night editor Hayden Meikle.
Good evening, Daryl. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Yourself?
Not too bad. We'll see how the night unfolds, but certainly there's some interesting stories in tomorrow's paper.
Not all of it pleasant reading.
No, not all of it pleasant. Let's face it, we'll start with the developing story following the report of a missing person in one part of Dunedin, and subsequently the discovery of a body in another part of Dunedin or north of Dunedin. I don't know much more at this stage. Our reporters are obviously working on that, and we'll find out a whole lot more in tomorrow's paper. So, big story. Very sad, and also very sad for different reasons. A bit of an update on our miniature horse story, which featured in the paper this morning. Sadly, Little Star, the 10-year-old miniature horse, died this morning after surgery following the multiple stab wounds sustained up there at Waitati. Still a very disturbing story. I mean, an interesting story. There's huge public interest in this awful occurrence. It'll be interesting to see where we go with that. And attention turns, I guess, to who did this and why.
Yeah.
We better hit a lighter note. On a lighter note, it's cricket time. There's for cricket fans, fever is building. The one-day against Bangladesh tomorrow at the University Oval. We've got the latest from both camps, including some thoughts from Ross Taylor. And I guess in the absence of Kane Williamson, who sadly is not playing here tomorrow, huge interest in Ross Taylor, a modern-day great. He loves this ground. People will recall the last time he played here, he did rather well. A lot of interest, I think, from yourself included, Daryl, on whether he can hit a 6 out of the ground or indeed on the roof of the Otago Daily Times stand down there.
Indeed, if he can hit the roof again, I watched the footage just before as it rolled, and just, to hit a ball that hard and high and far is pretty flash.
He's super talented man, Ross. He's succeeded down here a lot over the years, so fingers crossed he does well. One more interesting story among many others tomorrow is that Wanaka is to trial a pedestrianisation, which is one of those nasty long words, of its town centre. We're seeing this happen obviously more and more. There's some talk even Dunedin might look at it eventually around the Octagon. It already does for major events. So Wanaka, obviously a hotbed, a haven for holiday makers. We'll be keenly interested to know how that will go. So watch this space. I suspect you will see a lot more towns looking at getting cars off the streets in the future.
So thank you. But so if they're pedestrianising Wanaka, where is one going to park the Lexus or the Mercedes SUV?
That is indeed a problem. It certainly won't be in the centre of Dunedin because there's no parks here.
No. Thank you, Hayden. Appreciate it, mate. Time for a look now at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Beginning with the situation. Fine weather tomorrow is an increasing cloud on Thursday. Is set to give way to some rain and colder southerly winds on Friday and Saturday. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect a wet day with highs of 22 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect a few clouds and highs of 26 degrees. In Canterbury, it might pay to have your umbrella handy, but expect a cloudy day and a 25 degree high for Kaikoura, similar for Christchurch, 1 degree higher on 26, while Ashburton, you're looking at 22. And in the southern towns, it's light westerlies and fine for the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore, with a high of 19 degrees for each of you. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes region, plan for increasing westerlies and fine weather for most. Wanaka and Alexandra are aiming for 25. Queenstown, you're heading for 1 degree lower on 24, while in Te Anau, expect moderate westerlies, some cloud and 18. Heading up to the northern towns, Timaru and Romaru can expect light northeasterlies and fine weather, 24 for Timaru and 23 for Oamaru. Twizel and Omarama are due to have light winds, clear skies and highs of 24. And in Dunedin, some rain this evening with gusty southwesterlies developing at an overnight low of 14. Southwesterlies at first tomorrow will be dying out with the weather becoming fine and sunny during the morning, with northeast winds developing at an overnight low of 14, but should follow a 20-degree high during the day. Sunny periods and cloud on Thursday, mild and light winds, looking at a high of 21 and a low of 13. And in Invercargill, becoming fine tonight with southwesterlies dying out at an overnight low of 11 degrees. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods and some cloud, moderate westerly winds prevail. Expect pleasant temperatures, aiming for a high in Invercargill of 18 and a low of 11. Milder northwesterlies freshening on Thursday with high cloud increasing, some rain at night, looking at a high of 19 degrees and a low of 13. And that's all for our news on this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.